I spent a decade in human resources, so I've always worked with people. I've always helped organisations tap into their talent to grow their people. And personal professional development has been my passion, which is why when I stepped away from my HR career 6 years ago, I started coaching, writing books and delivering trainings and workshops and helping people achieve their potential. And here's the thing that I've noticed over 5 years of delivering multiple workshops across thousands of different businesses. Here's what I noticed. Our main problems are that our staff keep burning out, we can't keep our talent, and our diversity and inclusion agendas, we're trying really hard in this space, but we're not shifting the dial, we're not seeing the impact. Why is that? Here's my thoughts. Here's what I know. It's not just about giving people a seat at the table, presenting an opportunity, opening up space. People have to feel they can step into that space. People have to feel they can own that space. People have to feel that what they bring to that table is of value. And most of the time, that isn't about what happens externally in your organization, your culture, your systems, your processes, although that's important and that helps support. The most powerful place that comes from is here, in our own minds. Now, depending, particularly for minority groups, so I love Dr. Juana Hickey talked to me about a tax from a diversity perspective. If you're part of a minority group, it's almost like a tax you pay, and I feel that this sums it up perfectly. As a woman, there's a tax. As a gay woman, there's an additional tax. And if I'm a Māori woman or a Pacifica or a migrant or disabled, these are all additional taxes. And the more taxes we have, there is this feeling of being second best. And so it's not surprising when these spaces open up at these leadership tables that we might think twice about taking them. So how do we empower our talent to own their space? That's the work that I've been involved in the last 5 or so years. And imposter experience is the thing that keeps coming up. We know that this is more prevalent in minority groups. We also know that it's the domain of high achievers. So if you're trying to improve your diversity and inclusion and get more of your talent onto your leadership table, this is possibly the barrier that's stopping them. It's also the reason so many high achievers burn out. So I've talked to many organizations in this space and worked with many individuals, and the reoccurring theme is that quite often the reason we're burning out is because we're over delivering, we're overworking, we're trying to get everything perfect, we're setting excessively high standards for ourselves. Do you want to know why? Because we feel like we need to prove ourselves. If you have this voice in your head that says you're not as good as people think, then you feel like you have to work twice as hard to prove yourself. If you're fearing that you might get found out, you want to go right to the other end of the extreme and get something perfect so that you don't fail. This drive to prove ourselves is what ends up in burnout. This fear that we're not good enough is what stops us taking our seat at the table. So if you want to improve your diversity and inclusion agenda, if you want to get more women around your leadership table, if you want to make sure you hold on to your talent and help them be their best as opposed to burning out, then imposter experience is the way. We have to teach people the tools and strategies to enable them to see their own ability, to build self-efficacy, to bring all of themselves to the table and to know what they offer, to have confidence that they can own their space. And what I've seen happen when we do this work with individuals, they apply for the promotions, they share their ideas at meetings, they ask more questions. This leads to better innovation, and this leads to us being able to tap into all of the diverse skills and experience that we know will help make our businesses better. But it's not just about giving these people a voice, it's helping them use that voice. And of course, that starts here. Once we know what we bring to the table and what our skills and capabilities look like, we're then more confident in owning that space. And that's what makes the difference.